Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 156 of Super Switch Headz, the premier Nintendo podcast on all of the internet. My name is David Howe.
My name is Matthew Stoner.
My name is Patrick Nisley.
Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest joining us on today's episode. Jen Howe has joined the podcast.
Hello.
How's it going, Jen?
Good. How's it going, everyone?
Very good indeed. Spoiler alert, everybody. Jen is my sister, and we've got you on today's episode to talk all about the new Mario Kart DLC. Oh man, am I excited for this episode. I've been playing mostly Mario Kart pretty much all weekend. I've been having a great time, and I can't wait to talk about it with you guys in the last half of this episode. We also have lots of news. Nintendo stealth dropped a folders update on us.
Groups!
5 years.
Groups!
Excuse me, groups on the Switch. 5 years into the Switch's life. We got another. Yeah, exactly. We've got another bundle for Ukraine to talk about. The Wii and DSi shops are mysteriously down, and no one knows if they're coming back. And lots more. Before we get into all the news, how are we doing, everybody? We have a good week.
Has it been a week? What is going on?
Time flies.
I don't know.
I feel like I look.
Yeah. We almost died today. There were like 4 tornadoes just like circling Austin, but none of them dared to knock on our door.
Yeah, there's a bunch like along one of the sort of east-west highways right close to me. So
Yeah.
But one of them took out Kalahari Resort. Yes.
You're into that. Yeah.
I don't like Kalahari Resort. That place is. I don't really want any.
You don't like golf. You don't like.
I don't want any
courses.
I don't like golf courses. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, I also don't like giant resorts.
Me too. When I look at golf courses, I actually get angry because it takes up so much land.
Yeah.
Yep. That's how. It's kind of how I feel about.
Okay.
I'll stop.
Yeah. No,
I'm about to go on like a
just a little
a degrowth rant or something.
But this is this is LA's problem with public parks. Of like they have so many golf courses and they have a limited amount of public parks,
and they require a lot of water and all that too. So that's part of it. But
this is a golf course podcast.
Super Golf Heads.
I think whenever like the golf video games come up, I always talk about it. Like I love golf video games. I hate golf in real life.
Yeah.
I don't hate it in theory. It's just like the land use problem. But anyway, okay.
You'll play Call of Duty, but you won't enlist.
Yeah, exactly. Never hitting the links for real.
Yeah.
What about you, Jen? You've been having a good week. Anything cool going on recently?
Yeah. No. Nothing cool.
Not at all.
But besides that, everything's good.
Hell yeah. That's good to hear.
I have been playing a lot of Mario Kart though, and that is cool. That's pretty cool.
Hell yeah. I can't wait to talk about it with you. I'm kind of known in the Switch Headz Discord as being the best Mario Kart player. But I tell you what, guys, my sister and my brother are both better than me. So you guys got another thing coming if you think I'm good.
Yeah, because you guys were playing Mario Kart over the weekend, and I remember someone in the Discord being like, "I beat you, you son of a bitch."
Yeah. That's how I feel when I beat Jen.
That's how I feel when I beat Justin, which is never.
Justin is the king. Yeah.
Well, we have some shout outs to give. So last week we talked about F-Zero, another racing episode. So 2 racing episodes back to back. Yay. As always, lots of great discussion on the Discord. So much good stuff on there. Real briefly, DCD recognized the call out for the Picross challenge, David. So I'm waiting to see this. Y'all need to figure this out.
Yeah, we need to figure out a good way to do. I want to be able to like
dual stream.
Somehow dual stream, but I don't really know how that's going to work. So I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. And then Kuroseta on the Discord also talked about the arcade knowledge and how the Triforce system was literally just a GameCube motherboard and the arcade boards, which is kind of cool, and showed off some stuff from that. And then we got some YouTube comments, so we have to shout them out. Party Favor talked about as a kid playing Death Race and F-Zero X, didn't know that you could do actual attacks. So they just would ram into cars.
Yeah.
And they were a Black Bull driver. Like we
Yeah,
talked
well, he's
about.
got the heaviest car. It does lots of damage.
We got a comment from Ant Keeps Gaming and also from Matt Hobby on YouTube as well. So Matt, the theory is tested.
Is confirmed. Also, one more shout out from the Discord. We had someone find our Discord and a new fan join our Discord because of the F-Zero episode, and thanked David, you, and Patrick for time stamping the YouTube video. So,
Oh, that's right. It was Bozo.
yeah,
Yeah,
Bozo,
yeah.
yeah.
No problem. Don't ask us to timestamp each news item because we're not doing it.
Yeah, there you go.
But if you hate the news, we make it easy for you to skip.
Yeah. Well, we've got a lot of news to go through, but before we do that, also just quick call to action. Thanks for, if you're a listener, we always appreciate these comments and that kind of stuff. So do send them in. And also we appreciate it if you leave us a review somewhere online or share the podcast online. And then remember to like and subscribe on the YouTube video. All right. So as always, we start off nowadays with talk about the unfortunate world events. There was an itch bundle recently of games that you could get for to support some humanitarian relief efforts in Ukraine, and there's another one now with Humble Bundle, and this has a bunch of big games in it actually as well, and then also a bunch of kind of like resources, like there's some like books and like tutorials and
The Game Maker Studio is included.
Yeah,
for
I think you get a year
like
worth of that. So I'm probably going to do this just for some of that stuff. And to support it. But yeah, so that's cool. Check that out, everybody.
Yeah, it's good to see. It's definitely like the itch.io bundle is like 1,000 little indies and experimental games, and this one's definitely more like games that you would see on Steam.
AAA games, kind of.
Yeah, a lot of AAA games, still some indies, but it's all like, I think you can get Steam keys for all of them as well. So it's definitely worth checking out, especially if you only chucked in $5 for the itch.io bundle. Come on, you can do a $40 one.
Well, the Monster Hunter Rise event happened, and I said we might talk about it. I guess we'll just give it some lip service. It happened. Sunbreak is coming, and they showed off some stuff. I'll be honest with you, I don't really have a lot to talk about on this. It's coming in June.
Did you watch it?
I have not watched it. I wish I had, but so I could talk more intelligently about it. But I saw some people's comments. I know there's new monsters and new areas and tweaks and all that kind of stuff to the gameplay, and I'm sure it's going to be awesome. But I apologize, I don't have a lot to say about it. But I think there's like a new area and
there's
all
a new
that kind of
area.
stuff.
I think that's the really big thing, right? Is that there's like a lot of new area to explore. Which is cool. And from what I'm hearing, it's like kind of on the same scale as the is it Iceborne? Is that what it's called? Or the from Monster Hunter World? It's looking to be pretty similar in scope to that. So if you enjoyed that, then yeah, I think you're in for a treat.
And moving along, then somebody pointed out, as they often do by digging through these patent filings, that a Nintendo controller patent was discovered. Of course, this could be nothing, and that's more than likely the case, right? Like a lot of these turn out to just be ideas they had that they patented. But there's sort of a chunky looking controller with, like, I don't know how you describe it, kind of like a big chunk back part, which makes you wonder what that would be for, if it is, or what they were kind of thinking about here. What do we think about this? Does anybody have any speculation?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some people with this theory online, and it's got to be what it is. And I think that because if you look at it, it really just looks like the top of the N64 controller. You know what I mean? It's kind of rounded a bit, and then it has the bit jutting out in the back for what would hold the rumble pack or memory card, right? But the way that the NSO N64 controller is that's just filled in with plastic, and that's where the rumble motor lives. So what I think is that basically they had to patent at least like that part of the controller that's going to house the new like Bluetooth connectivity and the new buttons and stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't know if Nintendo patents parts of controllers. Maybe they wanted to make it to where it wasn't like exactly the 3-prong thing, just so if it did leak before, people wouldn't know there were N64 games coming, maybe. That's sort of my theory on it. But to me, it definitely looks like it's part of the N64 controller. I can't see that being for anything that they would ever release by itself, because it looks a little weird.
It does look weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then next item, like you talked about, apparently the Wii and DSi shops have been down since I think it was like the 18th or 16th or 17th, somewhere in there. It looks like it's the 16th now that I'm seeing. These stores, you can't buy anything, and you haven't been able to for a few years. But you were able to go on and re-download things. And, at least in terms of the Wii U, they've kind of given an end date, right? Like they've told us what day those things are going to go down. But this was just kind of a sudden pull down, which may be temporary, but it's now been several days. And I couldn't find anything today, but as of the 20th is what most places were last saying.
It's still down as of now.
Still down.
Yeah. This kind of sucks, right? I mean, this is kind of like what we can expect. I mean, maybe it will come back up, but it's been completely quiet, right?
Yeah.
And they did say at some point that like the ability to download will be gone at some point in the future, but they never really specified.
Speculation, likely a security vulnerability.
Oh, really? You think that this might be like a temporary pull down?
I think so. Yeah. Because, I mean, there's been some big hacks recently, at least in the past couple of months. I mean, Funimation recently got a big hack, and they delayed like the Dragon Ball movie. So I assume that it might be something related to the server infrastructure or some kind of vulnerability that might exist somewhere in their network. Either actually compromised or just protecting a possible issue. Total speculation, but that's what I would assume if something like this happens.
Yeah. I'd like to think that for sure. That was my first thought, is that they were like moving servers, right? Because they have like a whole new sort of back-end infrastructure going on at Nintendo right now that they've been building over the past year and a half, 2 years, something like that. So if they are, I mean, that's kind of the optimistic view, right? Is that they might just be moving this over to where it can still be accessed for a while. I don't know. Do you guys think that it's too soon for Nintendo to cut off accessing your purchases on a system like the Wii?
I feel like it's a tough question to answer, because there's part of me that thinks I think it's okay. Like, I mean, like, but I feel like the last person I know who still played their Wii just recently got a Switch. So like,
they were waiting for that guy.
Yeah, it's one of my neighbors. Yeah.
What was he still playing on his Wii?
We would play Smash over there.
That's cool.
And Just Dance.
Yeah.
Just Dance 2022.
We'd play the old Smash and the new Just Dance. Yeah.
When's the last time you plugged in the Wii?
Oh God, a long time ago. But I have been meaning to plug it back in and play some Wii Mario Kart with a GameCube controller. Because, oh man, I played the heck out of that game.
Yeah,
I love that game, and it was like my go-to with friends over, and it was just so fun. It was like it brings back so many memories, and yeah, I mean, I'm jumping ahead here, but like Coconut Mall was my favorite, and now it's back, so I'm kind of happy.
Yeah. You want to go back and get comparison footage versus the new version and the old.
I miss some of the old tracks on there
for sure. So I think Patrick, were you going to say something else?
I guess I was just going to point out that some of these articles, maybe suggesting kind of that Matthew might be right, say that like there's evidence the servers are still up because you can use tools to kind of access it, but that like the front end of it is down for some reason.
Oh, okay.
That like, people are still able to get in with using third-party things, but like So we'll see.
I mean,
I do think it'd be weird for them to just do it with no announcement.
yeah, that's the thing. There's precedence for announcements, good or bad, whether that's right or wrong.
Yeah.
Nintendo has certainly announced when they're closing something, especially the shops.
And there was so much just like vitriol from the community about the 3DS and Wii U stuff. It would be real heel turn for them to just be like, all right, now we're going to silently murder the Wii.
Yeah.
At least you can get DSiWare on the 3DS store still. But yeah, I hope that they reinstate this back in some fashion.
Well, something that just happened before we started recording this actually is the we're not calling it folders, or they're not calling it folders.
I'm calling it folders.
Nintendo has added a way to group together your games or software on the Switch. As of like just a little bit ago. Today's the 21st. So I don't know. It looks like I'm just looking at this for the first time. Really, it's like you can have up to 100 groups with a max of 200 things in a group. And you can add the same thing to multiple groups. I guess this brings us up to version 14.0. I don't know if there's anything else on that. This all just kind of happened right now.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything other than this new groups feature included in this, but I'm sure there's general stability included in this as well.
You know it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just funny. It was like someone posted this in our Discord and I thought they were trolling that this got added just because this should have been like a day one thing. And here we are 5 years into the Switch's lifespan and we're finally getting folders.
Can you name the folders?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
It's not exactly like 3DS folders where they just show up on your home screen. It's basically if you go into the games and more section at the end and then press L, your folders show up on a separate screen. So it's like, all your games are still kind of just like hanging out in the main area, but you can go to a more curated section like that.
Okay. I see that. Yeah, I'm looking at the image now. It's like a separate little button now instead of the sort button or whatever. There's now also a groups button.
Yeah. It's pretty intuitive. The actual sorting is very intuitive and feels good. Feel like this was made for Picross fans because all the Picross games are released. So you can't just buy like a $60 Picross game. You got to buy 7, $6 and $10 Picross games or whatever. So now I've got a Picross folder, which is nice.
How meta can we get with these group names? Like your Picross group name inspired me, but like, can we do like a group of collections of a bunch of other games?
Yeah. I mean, I've got one for Picross right now. I've got one for roguelikes. I'll probably make one for like retro games just so I can easily access everything.
You can actually group together the like NSO apps now.
Yeah.
Which has been one of my complaints about that. It's like sometimes you're like, oh, I want to play is it on the NES or the S? I don't. Okay, you got to go.
Well, they kind of have that already.
Yeah, that thing sucks.
With this little button. Right?
Yeah. I wish that functionality worked better.
Yeah.
My experience going through that is not super helpful, but
it's laggy and bad.
Yeah.
But it does tell you how much after or before your birthday games were released. So
critical info.
That's the only place you could find that information.
Hurrah.
Yeah, right? That's what I really wanted out of the Switch from day one. And they finally gave it to me. About a year ago.
We've got these what are we calling them? Groups. We got groups. We did it.
Yeah, I don't know. Fuck it. Now it's just like another 5 years until themes come
out. Yeah. I don't know if that's ever going to happen. We'll see.
I never thought fucking folders were going to happen, Patrick. And here we are on this glorious day.
Glorious day. All right. So this was a fun one. Game Explain got to talk to
wait, hold on. Actually, before we move on, that just reminded me. So I was like eating dinner when folders dropped on the Switch, and Game Explain, of course, within like 20 seconds had a video up, and I put it on, and it's Andre from Game Explain, literally breathlessly being like, "Oh my god, this is the best thing in the world." He's like, "I just ran home to make this video," and you could tell it's like he didn't edit it at all. You could hear him like huffing and puffing. I just
Literally ran home.
Content never stops.
Yeah. It's like Game Explain has to have the first video out.
They have to hustle hard. Andre's got to run home, literally.
Anyway, sorry, you can move on.
Yeah. Well, Game Explain got to do an interview with apparently one of the game director from the Mario Strikers games, some of the previous ones. Not currently. He's no longer at Next Level. His name is Mike Englehart. And they asked him about, I think this is super fun. They asked him about the Waluigi taunt, which the suck it motion is how I think of it. And apparently they put it in the game and Nintendo they just never really brought it up. And so it just kind of made its way through. But he explained that he thought it was kind of more like intentional to be like a W or something. I don't know how that makes a W.
Right. Yeah, right. That's like John Lennon being like, "Oh, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds is not about LSD." It's like, yeah, fucking right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, it's good. Do you think it'll make the cut in the new game?
No.
Maybe it means something different in Japan.
Yeah, that doesn't mean suck it.
It means like sumimasen.
I don't know. Yeah.
Apologies to our Japanese viewers.
I am interested to play that game. Yeah, that would be fun if it's still in there. I thought this was interesting for one reason, which I'll talk about here. But the next news item is that PlayStation has made another acquisition, or Sony has made another acquisition. It's called Haven Studios. I don't think Haven Studios has actually put out a game yet. They only formed like roughly a year ago. It's formed around somebody who was working from Stadia, Jade Raymond, and they went on to then leave Google and start this company. And I think it was kind of funny because like a year ago, whenever that happened, they were like, we're going to be an independent studio and make the kind of like and make the games we want to make, kind of a thing. And then they got funding from Sony, and now they're a Sony
to make a multiplayer game. Yeah. Probably one of these like games as a service games that Sony has said they're going to make. Yeah.
Yes, that's like 100%. That's what they are making.
Yeah.
So I just think that's kind of a funny trajectory there.
Yeah, she's done a lot of games over at Ubisoft mostly.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been like Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs, Far Cry, and then worked a little bit on Battlefront 2 over at EA.
Yeah. Well, we'll see whatever game they're cooking up over at Haven, I'm sure, in a year or two.
Sony's making some questionable decisions right now, I think, with some of these multiplayer games. Lots of like Fallout about Gran Turismo. The new Gran Turismo game was just like offline for like 30 hours. And you just couldn't play the game because the game is always online. Yeah, so there's a lot of questionable stuff going over in their multiplayer departments right now.
Somebody over at Square, one of the producers of Triangle Strategy, released some sales numbers on Twitter. They said the game has sold 800,000 copies, so inching up close to 1 million. And I think that was just roughly 2 weeks after it released. So that's pretty solid numbers. I guess this is why everybody's making tactical role-playing games, right? Are they all gonna sell this well?
Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty good for a tactical RPG, I think.
Yeah.
So we'll see how some of the other ones compare this year. I would definitely love to see that compared to Advance Wars whenever it eventually comes out.
Yeah. Hogwarts Legacy is apparently coming to the Switch. I think there was a leak of the box art, right? And then somebody over at Warner Brothers confirmed that the game is actually coming to the Switch, which is
I think even
crazy.
On their website there was a Switch logo at the bottom of the website.
Oh, okay.
It was just kind of
they
they just didn't announce it. It was just kind of unceremoniously on their website after that state of play.
Oh, okay. So pretty recently, yeah.
Yeah, it was like this past week. There was like a state of play after the kind of boring state of play that they did that was just for this game. Yeah, and then after that, that's when we found out that it's coming this week.
I completely missed the Hogwarts Legacy state of play. I didn't even realize that.
I watched it, and it's like the game looks good. You know,
Does look
like
great.
it looks like a really good, gorgeous game. That's like, you know, the Harry Potter world game that everybody's wanted for a really long time. Which we can get back into in a second, like what that means in like today's world, right? But just talking about the Switch port, I don't know how this is gonna fucking work at all. You know, because it's like you'd think it would be a stream cloud version, but then box art leaked on Amazon, which kind of makes you think that it's going to be just like a straight up port. But looking at the footage,
it didn't have the ugly thing on the top that says
right. Well, they wouldn't sell a box
Download
for a cloud version, right?
that,
Like,
yeah, like you
yeah.
get a cloud code.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, that
You get an
sounds
IP
terrible.
address you can hack
Oh,
into.
no.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I'm looking at this game and I'm like, how the fuck is this going to work on the Switch? Like, it looks like a truly next gen experience. You
It's
know,
gotta be cloud, right?
I don't know. They haven't said word one about
You
it.
get the mobile version with the like chibi characters.
Oh man, the Final Fantasy 15 treatment.
Mhm, mhm.
Lego Harry Potter Hogwarts Legacy.
No. Oh, God.
Yeah, but I mean, just beyond that, just talking about this Hogwarts game in general, it's definitely a weird time for this game to come out. It's kind of unfortunate that it's probably been in the works for a really long time at Avalanche, and you know, J.K. Rowling is definitely not on the right side of history with a lot of her comments, and can be pretty hateful towards certain groups, especially trans people. So it's kind of like I'm looking at the state of play and I'm watching this footage and I'm like, holy shit, like I don't even care that much about Harry Potter and this game looks amazing to me. But it's like, man, are we able to separate the art from the artist on this one, right?
Yeah, isn't there a new movie coming out real soon too? Yeah,
Yeah, I just saw a preview for it.
Yeah.
Same problem.
Yeah. I mean, I know they've made a statement saying that J.K. Rowling was like not involved in this game at all, right? And that it's using their IP, but that there's no creative involvement in the game.
Oh god, yeah, that's awful.
But it's like to have to say that at all. And then they were asked like, but will she profit off of this game? And they were like, no comment. And so okay, well, yeah,
of course she will. There's no way she wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then on top of that, there was also like one of the like lead developers at Avalanche. I actually just recently learned he resigned like a year ago after like a bunch of news outlets found his YouTube page, which I kind of went down a weird rabbit hole on the other day where he like defends all these dudes that got canceled during the Me Too movement and like just like a bunch of like weirdly right-wing stuff that it's like, did you really have to have a YouTube channel during this time, man? That's not a good look, right? So
yeah, I didn't put it in the show notes, but there's been a lot of bad news about studios like that.
Yeah.
We don't have to. It's just depressing. It just keeps coming out.
Yeah.
Something I learned about Hogwarts Legacy, just to put a pause on that crazy.
Yeah,
crazy
I
life.
purposefully didn't put it in, and now I'm talking about
Yeah,
it. You know?
fair.
No, it's all good. Yeah.
So there's Avalanche Software, who's making Hogwarts Legacy, and there's also Avalanche Studios Group, who makes Mad Max and like Just Cause. So
are they not the same studio?
No, they're different.
Oh.
Totally. So this is Avalanche Software, who is part of the.
They did Disney Infinity.
Yeah, they
right?
did. Yeah, they're part of the Disney. So they did
Y'all want
Disney
to start
Infinity.
a company called Square Phoenix?
yeah. Yeah.
Circle Enix.
Fuquare.
I'm sorry to throw up your
Phoenix.
talk, Matthew.
No, it's all good.
No, you're good. You're good.
They're
finish
all
what
the
you're
same names. Nintendo Boy.
Game Man.
Game man.
Only to say, like, this is interesting that they're giving this important property to Avalanche Software, who I thought was the Just Cause and Mad Max developers. But no, their last game was Cars 3 and then Disney Infinity and a bunch of other licensed games. So that
Cars 3 was really hard.
I've heard both of those Cars games were actually really good.
It wasn't bad. It was just hard. Like I tried to play it with my kid and he's like, this is too hard. I mean, it's like, okay. And I was like trying to unlock things and I had to spend a really long time unlocking all the cars.
Cars 2 has the distinction of being a licensed movie game that has a higher Metacritic score than the movie.
Yeah, Cars 2
that's pretty rare. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's like if this game is even like half of what they're saying it's going to be, it seems like massive. It's like it's got Fire Emblem elements in it. Obviously, it's got like kind of Persona stuff with relationships that you can have with people.
Wow.
Like it's like a massive open world surrounding Hogwarts itself. So we'll see. It's definitely tempting to get this game, but it's also, you just don't want to support somebody like that. Right. And I don't know. And I know you didn't want to talk about this stuff, Patrick, and we don't have to, but
we can. I think it's just felt negative and it's honestly, it's kind of important to talk about it. So we can talk about it. Moon Studios is one of them.
Yeah, Moon,
the Florence developer.
Yeah, a lot of people that Annapurna produces for, or that kind of stuff. A lot of those indie studios have recently had like big exposés on a lot of the heads of their divisions, and it's been kind of a good thing, I think, especially like because GDC just started today, and it's like I've been seeing a lot of the sentiment on Twitter is like, I feel like I can finally like go to GDC and like be honest about what my work situation is like right now. You know what I mean? It's kind of like there's a big kind of wave of people coming forward about unfair work conditions, especially within the indie sphere where a lot of these people from GDC are meeting up at. And so I do think it's much needed at this time. And I'm glad to see the stuff coming out, even as unfortunate as it is to see all at once.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a bunch of stuff that's makes, as a person who's pro-union, like there's like local Starbucks who kind of formed unions as Howard Schultz comes back to Starbucks. And then the collective group of artists for Meow Wolf they've been trying to negotiate contracts. They just got an agreement with the Meow Wolf owners. So
interesting.
This is the pro workers movement is pretty great.
Oh yeah. Love to see it.
Well, that was a fun bunch of tangents there.
Transition us, Patrick. I see what's
please.
Next on the notes.
3 Sega Genesis games were added to NSO within the last week. So Nintendo continues to add games, thankfully, to these retro apps if you subscribe to Nintendo Switch Online or Nintendo Switch Online Plus Expansion Pack. So now on the Genesis, you can play 3 games I've never heard of: Alien Soldier, Super Fantasy Zone, and Light Crusader. I don't know anything about these. I think on our Discord, Carosetta or somebody like did a nice little explanation of all 3. Does anybody know much about these games?
Super Fantasy Zone is awesome. It's like a really cool, fun, bright, colorful shmup. And I really enjoyed that game. I've played that one before. The others I haven't played, but they look pretty cool. There's that one like isometric game that looks a bit ass to me. But the beat 'em up actually looks cool because it looks kind of more like a Contra style shooter than like a standard just side scrolling beat 'em up game. Which
or give us more Sonic games on the Genesis. Wasn't it when this came out, Matthew? Weren't you like, oh, it's probably Sonic 2? Or wait, no, it's Sonic 2 or Sonic 3. It was Sonic, whatever Sonic we're missing.
Yeah,
to
Sonic
with the film
plus Knuckles is what I would think it would be.
There is still, a while ago, Sega announced that like Sonic, I think it's called Origins or something like that, collection of the kind of collecting the mobile versions, the enhanced versions of the original games that is going to include Sonic CD and Sonic Knuckles. So I imagine they're probably not putting any more Sonic games on the NSO because they will be selling like an enhanced collection of them at some point. We don't know when that's coming. They haven't said a single word about it since it was announced, but that's still on the way, you would imagine.
Gotcha. Well, to bring us into our main topic for the evening, there is another Mario Kart North American Open happening at the end of this month, the 25th through the 27th. If you're so inclined to check these out, I think it's cool that these things happen, but you have to be pretty good to have a chance to win the gold points or whatever they give you.
You pretty much have to play 24/7 and lose like only once.
Somebody's gonna get them though. They give away like $25 to some of the best players each day during that. So that's cool. I think it's just cool that they're supporting this game, and obviously they are really supporting this game after so many years of it being out on the Switch, 5 years now. Because the DLC came out, the first chunk of the Mario Kart 8. What do they call it?
The Booster Course Pass.
Booster Course Pass. Thank you.
You're welcome. I remember that because COVID vaccine boosters.
A little memory trick there.
Yeah.
My memory palace.
Yeah.
It's like,
I remember that because of the character Booster from Jingle All the Way.
Nobody likes you, Booster.
Exactly. See, Jen gets it.
Yeah.
Hey, Jen, are you real quick before we move into the break? Do you ever participate in these North American tournaments that Nintendo runs?
I have never even heard of them.
Yeah.
But I do take place in this one tournament called 150cc with like a star next to it. And that's really fun because it lasts like a month. It used to be like 2 weeks, and I liked it better when it was 2 weeks because I could just grind really hard and just like and just get up in the ranks. But no, I have not heard of that, but I do enjoy doing Mario Kart tournaments. I think Mario Kart tournaments are underrated, and a lot of people forget about them. So they're really fun.
Well, hey, maybe sign up. You can win 25 buckaroons.
Ooh.
25 Nintendo bucks.
Fun fact, I actually did win like an IRL Mario Kart tournament one time at ACC.
Nice.
And I won a t-shirt, but it was during COVID, and their email said you can come pick up your t-shirt after COVID is over.
So
wait, that's supposed to be over any day now, right?
Yeah.
We're getting close.
We're like, we'll have your stuff for you. Don't worry.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Well, unless there's anything else about the Mario Kart 8 DLC that we want to talk about, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to dig into our main topic, which is the Mario Kart 8 DLC, this booster course booster pack.
Milking a cow.
All right, we are back, and this week we are going to be talking about the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass, which is going to be coming out in waves. But Nintendo just released the first 8 courses or 2 cups, however you want to break this down, from, I believe it came out on the 19th, if I'm not mistaken, at least here. That rollout was fun.
Yeah, I think it was the 18th.
Was
right?
it the 18th? That's correct. You're right.
Yeah.
There was speculation it might come out a little early. Maybe we'll talk about that. But so yeah, we got new Mario Kart tracks for racing on. It's kind of crazy. It's like the game's new again almost, it feels like. I don't know how y'all feel about this.
Oh yeah.
But
I'm totally reinvigorated on the game with these new tracks. I think it's really, really great that they put these out.
Yeah, me too. I really am enjoying it. And I did have that sensation playing it where I was kind of like, this feels like a new game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, obviously it's not exactly, but it's enough new tracks that it felt like that. And then there's more coming. So we'll dig into all that. Well, yeah, like where do y'all want to start? How do we feel about we'll start with the new courses with that rollout of it and that kind of thing. Yeah.
Maybe we can start with what you were saying just about the release day.
Yeah.
Because it was there was like a little bit of I feel like there was some chaos on the day that everybody thought this was going to come out. Basically, like it dropped that they were going to be going live in Europe and in Australia at the same time. And so everybody thought that was going to be 6 p.m. It was not an international launch. I just want to tell a real quick story.
Yeah.
Because I was like so eager to play these tracks and I wanted to play them early, but I didn't want to like make a new account and you don't have to like pay for all of this. That would just be a total mistake, right? I made that mistake once with Super Mario Odyssey, and now I've lost access to that game because I don't have that email anymore. But anyway, something that's weird about these tracks is that if you don't own them, as long as you're playing with somebody who does own them, you can play them. So I went on Reddit around like 7 p.m. or something and found somebody from the UK who was like, hey, they're unlocked here. Everybody friend me and I'll just host all you Americans. And so basically for like 2 hours, I just like played with this random British guy that I found on Reddit. And it was like him from the UK and then like 10 US guys and 1 Canadian all in the room. We were all just like mooching off of his pass for those couple hours. It was a lot of fun. And,
That's cool.
So, yeah. Thanks to that guy. It was quite an experience.
Yeah, that is cool. It was a funny scenario because of that rollout. It's always weird, Nintendo always says these things are coming, and then sometimes because of that, sometimes it is a worldwide launch, and like we hear and especially if you're not on the Eastern, you get it a little bit early or something. So I think there's precedent for that, but it's also there's no reason to be upset because they really said the 18th, and it really was the 18th.
It's our fault. Yeah. Jen, what are your thoughts on these courses? What do you think about the DLC so far?
Oh man, I'm loving it. I heard that some of them were from the app, and I got a little bit scared about graphics. I didn't know how it was gonna transfer over to the Switch, but wow, I am amazed. These feel like they were made for the Switch. I mean, they are made for the Switch, but it feels like just a brand new part of the game, and that's all that we've wanted. And so I'm really happy about it, and I am just stoked for tomorrow because tomorrow we can play all these courses online.
Oh,
that's right. Yeah, yeah. As of the time of this recording, the only way that you can actually play these courses online is in like a private room. And they'll be added to the general worldwide regional rotation on the 22nd. Yeah. I also am pumped. I was very confused about that. I kept playing like online, hoping they would pop up. And I was like, am I just having really bad luck? And I was like, oh, okay, no, they're just not doing it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These courses are great.
Have you played them, Matthew?
I have. Yeah.
Okay.
I played them earlier today. I did not play with anyone from Reddit or connect to people in another country. But I also had the same feeling of like these courses are different enough. And I never played any Mario Kart Tour or any of the DS or GBA games. So like something like 3DS Toad Circuit, which feels like a classic racing course, that took me back to playing other racing games like I don't know, like Ridge Racer or some other games like that.
Yeah. Toad Circuit is definitely, that's what it's called, right? Toad Circuit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Toad Circuit is definitely the weakest of all of them.
Well, my favorite was the weakest.
Well, yeah, it's subjective. It's subjective.
It's totally subjective. Fine. But I mean, just like, that was the first course in Mario Kart 7, right? Yeah. And so it's like,
it's the most basic.
Yeah, it's the most basic out of all. I like it. I don't hate that course. It's just like really short and very basic. And only really super basic people like it.
That's me. Give me your pumpkin spice and your.
No, I'm not going to give you a pumpkin spice.
Yeah, Jen works at Starbucks, by the way.
Yeah, we don't carry pumpkin anymore. Sorry,
we burned all the pumpkins.
Yeah, out of hatred.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're really great, and let's just. Quick, I'm just so happy that they are adding the Mario Kart Tour levels to this. And we'll talk a little bit later. There's been some data mines that might suggest that we're getting almost all of the original Tour levels that they've made. Because as someone who did play Tour for like a couple hours and then got really bored and hasn't kept up with all the new courses that they've been adding in over time, these are just new courses to me, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I've played Paris Promenade or Tokyo Blur or Ninja Hideaway. And they're all like really interesting and unique courses. And something that's great about the real city courses, namely Tokyo and Paris, is in Mario Kart Tour, the mobile game. Those are actually split up into several different courses. There's like a Paris Promenade 1, Paris Promenade 2, Paris Promenade 3, where they basically just use the alternate ways that you do it, right? But in this, they've combined them to where Promenade 1, 2, and 3 are in laps 1, 2, and 3. So it really has this kind of like Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing transformed vibe, where like every lap would be like a different route in that game. And so I really love that. Like on Paris Promenade, like when you on track 3, you're going backwards.
Yeah,
So
that's fun.
People are racing like again. You've got like bullet bills like coming at your face as you're going that way. It's like super exciting and
Stay in your lane.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I love that. And I think both of those are really great. And Ninja Hideaway is really awesome as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think, one of the things I kind of wanted to talk about is on these new courses. I know some people, I kind of like what you were saying, Jen, is that like I was a little bit nervous about this because we talked about it when they announced it, and it was like we were like, oh, there's likely not going to be anti-gravity, there's likely not going to be crazy underwater mechanics. These courses might be a little more simple and basic. And I think I had my expectations in the right place, because when it came out, I was like, oh, this is a lot more fun. I was a little thinking it would be less fun than it is, if that makes sense. Like, I think, and one of the reasons I was also like, this feels like a new game is even though there are differences, and like Ninja Hideaway feels different a little bit than some of the other ones. And like, some of the remade ones feel a little bit different than maybe like the Paris Promenade and Tokyo Blur, but they all do kind of share something. And I don't know what that is. I think it is maybe the lack of anti-grav and you know what I mean? Like that make it feel almost like another game, like playing, just playing these 8 courses back to back,
I mean, some of that's got to be the graphical style, right?
Yeah.
That's what really worried me before these came out, was like, like when they first showed it off, I was like, I'm so excited we're getting all these courses. They kind of look like a mobile game, right? They kind of look like Horizon Chase Turbo, kind of that low poly, bright color aesthetic with kind of a lack of textures and that kind of stuff. Now they have had, I do think they have had a bit of a glow up since we initially saw it. Some of them, Toad Circuit kind of still looks like a mobile game, but most of them I think look pretty good. I think Choco Mountain looks like it was made for this game as far as I'm concerned. I think Ninja Hideaway is one of the prettiest courses in this entire game. Very, just really colorful. There's just so much going on in Ninja Hideaway.
Yeah,
right?
we're gonna have to talk about that.
Yeah. We'll have a whole Ninja Hideaway section. We're not going to timestamp it though. I'm sorry, but yeah, I think that adds to it, right? It's kind of got this different feel, and like racing in real world locations like feels weird in a Mario Kart game, right? So it kind of like, I think that's kind of cool. It makes it feel fresh, even if they don't like exactly fit in with like the, comparatively like photorealistic courses that have been in Mario Kart 8 up to this point. I still think it's pretty great. And it's just so great that we can finally play these stages without having to deal with the terrible touch controls or tilt controls or the slow pace of Mario Kart Tour,
What's everybody's favorite course of these new ones right now? I know we might change our minds. There's 8 of them.
Toad Circuit, you son of bitches. I like Toad Circuit, or I'm trying to think what's the other one? Shroom Ridge was also great.
Shroom Ridge is pretty fun.
I love Shroom Ridge. Yeah. I was a big DS player back in the day. So I just love Shroom Ridge for that reason. But then also like, dude, Shroom Ridge is just like Drift City. I'm like drifting 90% of that course, and it's so fun.
Yeah, and it's like what we've wanted. Like, I forgot the name of it. The one with the cars and that came with the base game. What is it called?
Toad's Turnpike.
Toad's Turnpike. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a better Toad's Turnpike.
Yeah.
Because it's a more manageable Toad's Turnpike. Like the cars aren't like chaotic. Like there's less cars. But it is like fun because you do kind of run into them sometimes. And I don't know. I feel like a lot of people probably wanted something like Toad's Turnpike that wasn't so like hellishly annoying.
Totally.
But
That's me. You're describing me. It's like I have always
funny.
I love Toad's Turnpike on N64 because it was like, whoa, this is so cool. We're on like a highway. But then in this game, I was like, I just dread anytime Toad's Turnpike comes up, right?
yeah.
But this, like, I love. And I think the cars, like, yeah, they go slower. There's way less of them. They're all going the same direction, which maybe they are on Toad's Turnpike as well.
My son's favorite level is Toad's Turnpike, so we play a lot of it. And so I don't think of it that negatively. So it's funny to hear y'all say that. But this one's like just 2 lanes, and there's more lanes in Toad's Turnpike. So it's funny to hear you say that this is more manageable too, because I'm like, well, sometimes it's less, but it's all perspective, and subjective, and I think that's interesting.
I really like the shortcuts in Shroom Ridge as well. There's kind of that really obvious one where you kind of boost across the grass to get to that glide area, like right before the tunnel. But then there's also one at the end where you can just kind of like cut across one of the turns, and there's like a air puffed or whatever.
Oh, the air puffs.
Yeah.
Are
And
only
so
in
if you-
these levels, right? Like, are air puffs in any of the base games?
Oh yeah, there are some like
Okay.
the Piranha Pipeway or whatever
Also,
that fucking one is called.
the dolphin one. There's
Okay.
like all
Yeah.
the
I guess they
There's
just
some in that
coming
as well.
up from
feel.
the pipes.
Oh yeah, that's right. I guess they feel different to me, but I hear what you're
Yeah.
saying. Yeah.
It does feel different.
Yeah.
Like the Ninja Hideaway air puffs are really
Crazy.
hard to
Yeah.
manage.
Yeah. That maybe okay. Are we still talking faves?
Well, yeah, we didn't finish favorites. I don't think
Oh.
Jen or I have given our favorite of the new ones or favorite top couple.
You can go ahead.
Okay, well, I really like the Paris Promenade one,
Mhm.
and then I mean I don't know, it's hard not to say Ninja Hideaway because it's so interesting.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's funny. Also, I just have to mention my kid again. He refuses to play Toad Circuit. He hasn't played it yet. He's like I've played it. He's like I've played it on I've played it on tour, and I don't really.
Oh, your kid
play
plays tour?
a little bit every once in a while, and I think that's like maybe I don't know if it's 1-to-1 the same on tour, but it's like maybe the practice level looks like it or something. Like
Yeah, I think it's the first level that you play in tour as
and
well.
so he's
Yeah.
like, I've played that a ton and I want to. I'm like, yeah, but this is this version.
Well,
Come
your
on,
kid has
man.
excellent taste.
I can't get him to play it anyway, but I really like
Fair.
Paris Promenade. I
Firm,
think.
but fair, David. How dare you? Just a quick observation is I'm like not a big Mario Kart fan, but I know y'all are. But I love the way that y'all are talking about these courses in the same way that I might think or talk about characters in Smash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to do with it.
Like
Yeah.
as I was hearing y'all like share about your favorite courses in Paris Promenade and Shroom Ridge and Ninja Hideaway, I could just like find and replace all the names of the courses with like with Banjo Kazooie or or Minecraft Steve, and it could sound similar.
Yeah.
with a few variants. But it's just nice to have this kind of excitement about something that we're all kind of excited about.
Yeah.
Jen, what's your favorite one?
I think my favorite was probably Choco Mountain.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
I just think it's just really fun to drift with,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of easy to get ahead of people if you get some of the drifts right.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really gotten it perfect yet, but I know there's probably a couple of spaces where you can drift and get that pink like flame.
There are around the kind of big one around the water. That kind
Where
of
the-
where
where
the falling
the-
rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can get a pink
yeah.
drift there.
You don't
for
get
sure.
hit
That
by
one
the
for
boulder.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I really liked it. The rocks really pissed me off at first, but I've gotten used to it.
Yeah. I've gotten used to them as well.
I kind of have to stop like a little bit if one's gonna.
I like all the changes to that level from the N64 version. I think they're like aesthetically really nice and thematically really nice too. Like I like that tunnel that you go into, which was like you're in the tunnel for like 1 second in the N64 version. It's now like kind of fleshed out more into its own like little section with its own little shortcut in it that you can boost through. And then I love I love like the jumps at the end as well. You just like pick up a lot of speed right towards the end.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy that stage. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the jumps at the end are great.
Yeah. I just think, it's that one's just like thematically really succinct. Should we talk about Ninja Hideaway?
Yeah, let's talk about Ninja Hideaway. It's such a weird course. Like, it's like, as much as I really like it, I also kind of like, it's kind of just weird. And there's part of me that doesn't like certain parts of it. So I don't know if y'all feel the same way.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
But
my butt clenches every time it comes up in multiplayer. I'm like, oh God. It's a total, like my lead could just go now easily, you know?
I think it's definitely one that requires a lot more time. I was playing it just yesterday and realized how many things I didn't realize were there. How many little, there's so many different shortcuts and alternate paths on that level. I mean, once you get to know them all, it might not feel that way, but having only played this for 3 days or whatever it is now, like I feel like maybe I know them all now, but like I kept discovering them on every playthrough until my last one.
Yeah.
There are a lot of options.
Yeah, there's, like right off the bat, there's like an upper and lower level. And then you can stay up there, but then there's also that platform that goes up and down. But like that has the ninja stars on it.
Where you have to just get lucky with the timing or have a mushroom.
Right. And so that kind of adds
and
a
you
whole
can
element to it.
turn, if you don't fly up there, you can turn left to go up that sort of rickety bridge to go on the left side of it.
Yeah, like the stairs or whatever. Yeah.
Or you can get up to the right side of it by going up, right? Like by it's crazy. And then you can also, if you're down on the floor with the ninja stars, you can burst through those piranha plant signs. Or you don't usually want to do that unless somebody else has done it, or if you have like a shell or something, because it slows you down if you run into
a mushroom will get you through there. Yeah.
But that's another little thing, and then there's a couple other things like up above on the rooftop as well, different paths and stuff.
Yeah, there's like a little TikTok clocky gear section if you get on that last little beam with the big air. Yeah, it's like there's like big pipes with like the big air and like the Shy Guys riding the kites. If you ride that tuft all the way up, you can get up high. There's like you can get on one of the like beams, like the top beams, and then it'll take you through this like kind of weird gear area. Crazy fucking course, man. There's like so much going on. The music is great. The visuals are good. A lot of right angles.
Yeah, and there's a couple of just sharp rights. And then if you are on that top rooftop, it's really easy to fall off. Like that because it doesn't set you on a great path for getting back on the lower rooftop.
If there's more than one person up there too, it's like total chaos. Yeah.
And also kind of like you were talking about Choco Mountain, I love that the end of that, if on the rooftop, you get a lot of air on those sort of little small, I don't know, shingle jumps or whatever they are.
Yeah, you can trick off of like every shingle.
Can you trick off of the air puffs? I haven't tried yet. You can?
Okay. Yeah, you can. It's hard. In fact, a lot of timing on I haven't gotten trick timing on all the courses yet.
I agree. There's a lot where I'm like, can you trick jump off of some of these? And I think it's the timing is just not there.
They're just new. I've just been playing the old ones for so long.
Yeah, where you have the timing. Them all.
Yeah. Music is great as well throughout all of these, but especially in Ninja Hideaway. That one has a really great track. I feel like a lot of our listeners right now are screaming at their devices right now because we haven't brought up Coconut Mall yet, which is like the meme course of all the Mario Kart tracks.
No!
Yeah. But I mean, what do we think about Coconut Mall in this game? That was definitely a fan favorite for Mario Kart Wii.
Why is it a meme course?
It just seems like everybody likes it or wants to talk about it or criticize that it's different than the original or whatever. Yeah.
I mean, there's also like, even before this came out, like there was a meme that was like, you just got coconut mauled. And like, they would just like post a picture of Coconut Mall. It's kind of like a Rickroll, I guess, in the Mario Kart community.
I refuse to accept this information.
But yeah, I mean, Coconut Mall is like just as chaotic as it felt on the Wii.
I've never felt my age more than not understanding a Coconut Mall reference.
Right, right.
Like this is my life now.
It's like the way people feel about it. It's just because the Wii Mario Kart is their Mario Kart, right? And I don't feel that way. You know what I mean? I don't feel that way. So I don't care that it's different than the one on Wii. I love it. You know, like I don't have any problems with it. I think it's pretty great. I think it's a really great.
I just feel like it feels so different. And
I
I
agree.
do not like that how different it feels. And I can't really even put my finger on what's so different about it. It just doesn't feel as fun as the Wii version. And I don't know why. I don't know, but maybe people like it more. I don't know.
I agree. It's like I can't really put my finger on it, but it is odd. And it's like, I don't know, maybe it's something about the scale of it feels a little different, maybe. But I just can't like make the same turns that I used to. And it's like going into those turny sections, I always end up hitting the wall, and I'm having a really hard time like
that really
finding the right time. Yeah, there's like 2 of them, right? That kind of like go like that. So I have issues with that one, but that was one I was really looking forward to, and it's ended up being not one of my favorites. But maybe it'll probably grow on me after a while.
I think it will grow on everybody, right? I think that like somebody who doesn't have a whole lot of nostalgia for Mario Kart Wii, like I don't, like to me it's great. And like, I can see that, though I could see anytime something that is really firm in your memory and then they remake it and make changes, that there's just an inherent kind of like disconnect there. Your mental map is off. Your, like little things you liked are gone or whatever,
There's a level of uncanny valley with all of these courses because it is like the tour versions of these remakes, right? Like they all like feel a little weird.
I just think it's a little reckless to put a racetrack through a shopping mall.
That's what's so fun about it too, right?
Yeah, it's just moms with like strollers and their kids.
Yeah, that'd be funny if you had to dodge like actual shoppers, like in the world toads.
Like blood splats everywhere.
Oh no.
Oh gosh.
But I think this one has some fun alternate paths and stuff too, right? Like some little shortcuts and
it's got
things.
that one kind of at the beginning.
The food court at the end there too.
There's there is like a weird, you can kind of cut on the gliding section when you go over, you can kind of cut that one corner.
Oh, yeah.
And I do that every time and I never win. And I'm like, I think this is actually losing me time.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a lot of gliding.
By not doing a drift there and getting a boost, I'm like losing. It's like the corner isn't enough of a cut to where I'm actually getting any advantage. So I think I'm gonna stop. Maybe if I start not doing that anymore, that'll help. I think the reason people don't like it is the cars don't move at the end. They used to have Mii's in them and they would go back and forth, and now they just have Shy Guys and kind of sit in the middle of the track awkwardly.
It doesn't feel awkward to me again as somebody that doesn't really care. Like I think it's fine. I think people will get over some of these differences eventually.
Totally.
And then when they remake it again in 10 years, the Switch kids will be like, "What is this nonsense? Why
is it so high polygon?" I mean, I think the only 2 we haven't really talked about is Tokyo Blur, which is another Mario Kart tour track, which a lot of people have been saying is kind of boring. But I really like that track a lot. I think it's great. It's got another
Sky
Ooh,
yeah. It's okay. All right. Fuck Tokyo Blur. I guess.
Well, I feel like Tokyo Blur and Paris
sorry.
Promenade.
I'm sorry.
I feel like they're similar. Tokyo Blur and Paris Promenade. They just have that same sort of mechanic of different routes each time, and I think that's interesting, and I think it's cool. And
I want to see that from all the tour stages.
Yeah, it makes it feel cohesive. This group, that there are a couple courses like that, and you know what I mean.
Yeah, I've just been really into like watching videos of Japan recently for some reason. That's like been my whole YouTube algorithm recently. So I'm just like, hell yeah, give me some Tokyo right now. But yeah, Sky Garden. Let's talk about Sky Garden real quick before we move on. Sky Garden, I first played it and I was like, this fucking track is boring and bad. And they took out all the turns from the Game Boy Advance version, and it's really short, and I think it looks ugly. But now I love it. I don't know what happened. Something clicked. I guess I like won one race on it, and I was like, yes. And now I'm like a huge fan.
That's all it took.
Yeah. What do you like about it, Jen?
I don't know. I don't know. I like all the clouds.
Yeah.
It's really nice. I feel like it puts me in a good mood when I play it. I like it. I think it's like simple and fun, and I don't know. I can't really complain about it. There's nothing. It's not my favorite track, but I can't complain about it. There's nothing that I don't like about it.
I think it's cool that they have the cloud, like, and that's kind of like dirt You know what I mean? The way
Yeah.
like, you end up on the clouds, it slows you down, and I don't know. And it is simple, and I think a lot of these are a little bit simple, but I kind of like that. Ninja Hideaway isn't simple, and a few of the other ones, like maybe Coconut Mall, they have different paths and stuff.
Right.
But I think there's something nice about the just kind of clean racing on some of these.
Yeah. And I've ended up coming around to it for sure. I think there are also like there are some clouds that you can like use to jump over corners as well, and so like. I think figuring out exactly which little cloud bumps you can use to do that is going to be clutch whenever these start showing up in rotation online. Yeah, so I've ended up liking it a lot, and I learned the timing on the tricks on the leaves, which I was just failing at forever.
That took a long time for me as well.
I'm like bouncing slowly and losing, and everybody's passing me. But now I get boosts. I get hella boosts off those, and I'm feeling a lot better.
For me, once again, I just think it's totally reckless to put a racetrack through clouds.
I know.
I think there's
At least
airplanes.
Yeah, at
Or
least
birds.
Yeah, mama
Yeah.
birds pushing their kids. In a shopping cart.
Yeah.
I don't. Is it?
They got
is it
shopping carts in the sky.
Sky Mall.
No, that's fine. That's where it went. It's not in airplanes anymore. It's now in Mario Kart.
I think it's Sky Garden, but it might be another course that has little pigeons on it too.
Yeah.
That I really like that little detail. I don't
Yeah.
know, maybe there's other courses in the base game that have that, but I don't remember them. So,
Hey, we stand pigeons here at Super Switch
yeah.
Headz.
Yeah.
well, we should talk about the sort of just general fact that they're going to be releasing these waves. And how do we feel about the release of these? There's going to be 6 waves of 8 courses. 2 cups at a time coming through the end of next year. So we've got a year, and maybe they won't go until December of next year. They haven't said. Maybe that gives them a little bit of leeway, but presumably for the next year and a half plus, we're going to be getting this. Do you think that feels like a good rhythm? Do you think that feels like they're trying to stretch it out too much? Would we is there a part of you that just would rather it all be dumped at once, or do you think that this is going to be a nice way to kind of parcel it out? Jen, what do you think?
I think that it's a little too stretched out. But it's probably a selfish answer.
That's fair.
Well, I think it is a selfish answer because I just want to
Yeah.
play them sooner.
I think you're very selfish, Jen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
How dare you want more for your dollars?
Well,
No, you're right. I mean,
I think it's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely seems like the end of 2023 in the era of a pandemic seems like a lifetime away.
Yeah.
Right? But it also
Yeah.
seems like it's going to feel like tomorrow by the time it gets here. It's like, it's hard to gauge time these days.
It does feel a little stretched. Like I think I do kind of wish it was more like 1 year instead of a year and 9 months or whatever this is going to be theoretically, right?
I mean, 48 tracks is like fucking ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like I've been having so much fun with this DLC over this weekend, and they're going to start to pop up in online, and that's going to be an awesome experience as well.
Yeah.
Although it's going to be hard to get
with
them.
the old ones.
Yeah,
it'll
because
be
the ratio is
interesting.
so low. But I mean, during the break, you were bringing up like how these new tracks kind of really do feel like they're part of a Mario Kart 9 because they have their own style. Like we really are, if you want to look at it that way, if you don't count like characters and mechanics and stuff like that, like this really is a Mario Kart 9. You know what I mean? Or it's at least like this game was doing so well that they felt like they wanted to hold on actually releasing Mario Kart 9. But they're giving, like Mario Kart 8 already had the most tracks of any Mario Kart game up to this point. Like it had more tracks than any of the other games, right? And now they're adding the exact same amount that were in this game, right? So now this is taking what was already the biggest game and has doubled it. So it's like, it's hard for me to really complain. It's kind of hard for me to really wrap my head around, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like, because this just feels so good to have 8 tracks. Like, and the fact that this is only 1/6 of what we're getting is kind of still, I haven't quite wrapped my head around that yet. You know what I mean? Like, so I think like ultimately, doing this stuff is going to be a lot of work. And I do hope that because they do have a whole 2 years now to get the rest of these out, that some of these at the beginning here might have felt a little rushed comparatively, right? It's like, maybe we'll have a little bit more time and development on some of these newer tracks that are be coming in. And it's going to be fun to just kind of speculate what's up next and what we might get in what pack. And for Mario Kart fans anyway, who have been fans of the series forever, this is like, it's a great thing to look forward to.
Just going back to kind of Jen, what you were saying about like just wanting more courses kind of all up front, all at once. I think I agree with that. It is an incredible business decision that Nintendo is doing here. If they're having 48 courses, you have 6 releases, and so you have this hype that gets recreated 5 more times potentially, maybe less, maybe more, depending on the number of tracks released. And then you have a built-in audience of 43 million Mario Kart 8 owners who could be potentially be spending $25, just to buy these tracks or subscribing to a new service. It just makes sense that they would do this rather than releasing a Mario Kart 9 on the Switch.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that they're doing this over 2 years instead of 1. Because that means they're going to get your annual NSO expansion pack membership twice for this.
Right.
Yeah. You have to keep it for 2 years if you want all the courses, not just like get all the courses and be like, well, I played all the courses, I'm going to end my subscription, right? It's like if you keep wanting it, you're going to have to, give them $100.
Son of a bitch, you got me.
And one of the bummers about doing this DLC through the expansion pack is you have to have an internet connection to play it. Because I have this problem with Animal Crossing DLC too, where we'll be somewhere without internet, and then you'll get this weird message when you fire up the software of you can play the software, but you won't be able to play the DLC, and it's kind of like, oh.
Now, is that
a bit of a bummer?
Is that true though? Because I know on the NSO apps, like the Super Nintendo apps, it checks more often.
Yeah,
but I think you can still play that. But you can still play the Super Nintendo games if you don't have an online connection.
If you have if you fire it up when you have an internet connection and then close it, and then you can go away from your internet connection and play it for however long. This is my experience, and I could be wrong. And if there's a listener or viewer that has a clearer indication, but I have this problem because we have 3 Switches in our house, and because some of them aren't primary Switches.
That's what I was going to ask. Because it's a primary Switch issue.
To play DLC and stuff like that, even with a cart, it can get weird, and it's kind of stuff where I'm like, oh, I want to take my OLED to the store when I'm going to wait for a curbside pickup. But then if I'm going to play a downloaded game, I have to remember to fire it up at home and then put it into sleep mode and little things like that. It just kind of, I think that's a concern with having the DLC through the expansion pack. Not that there are a lot of places you're going to go to play without internet, but if you're thinking you're going to play these courses on the plane, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm kind of curious.
I'm trying it out in airplane mode right now to see what happens.
Yeah. And again, I think, if you start it cold from that, I think it might be different than if you're in it and then go into airplane mode. Right.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I'll do some more testing after this podcast.
Yeah, it'll be curious to see, because I haven't tested it with this specifically, but let's talk about some of the implications of this DLC. I think when they announced the expansion pack, they did it in tandem with the Animal Crossing DLC, and now we have this. So do you think we're going to be, presumably we're going to be getting more DLC through the expansion pack, right? They're setting that precedent. They're making us think that, right?
I think
I kind of expect that.
Well, Mario Kart and Animal Crossing are the 2 highest selling games on the Switch, right? So I think if you want to see what other games might get DLC through this, you should look at the next highest selling games, right?
Maybe Breath of the Wild 2 or something might. I think
it's a little too. It's obviously too late for Smash. It's too late for Breath of the Wild. It's probably too late for Mario Odyssey. Although maybe fucking not.
That's fair.
Mario
point.
Odyssey and Mario Kart 8 came out the same year.
Let's get 48 new Odyssey worlds.
Oh God.
That's a crazy idea you just pitched that I'm all on board of for like some Mario Kart Odyssey DLC through this through this.
The trick is
pack.
46 of the 48 are just Steam Gardens remixes.
And they will come out
They're
one world at a time.
They're
over
Mario
a
Kart
year.
Run levels.
Adapted.
I don't know. I think like, I think even if say you do have the NSO expansion pack, right? And you got like the first 3 drops of these with it and you wanted to cancel. I think like if you're mainly a Mario Kart player, then just buying it for $25 is still saving money on doing NSO expansion pack again. You know what I mean? So it's like, I just think it's really competitively priced. I mean, it's really fairly priced for the entire package of what it is. Although I don't think you can buy cups individually, right? Or waves individually. I think you have to buy it all as one. Is that correct?
Yeah,
it's kind of like expansion pack. You can't pay monthly. You have to do a whole annual thing, right? So, I mean, it's a little sketchy. They're clearly trying to push their service, but they just keep adding value to it, right? They keep adding like N64 games I want to play. They keep adding DLC for games that I actually own and wouldn't buy otherwise. In some cases, like probably wouldn't have bought that Animal Crossing DLC, but now I have it if I want to play it, which is cool. So I think it's good. It does kind of beg the question on just with the sheer amount of tracks we're getting on this like quantity versus quality thing, where people are talking about how it's like, these don't really look like Mario Kart 8 levels. Like, would you guys have preferred 24 tracks that have the same kind of fidelity as the Mario Kart 8 levels, have all these anti-grav sections, or have like true stuff built into it? Or are you happier having double the amount for like the same price, but being more straight ports from Tour?
I'll say that I like all 8 of these courses. I don't miss anti-grav on any of them. Or underwater or whatever. Like I like them. I don't miss anything. And I don't think they look that much worse personally. Yeah. I think I had my expectations set for them too. And so I was kind of stoked to see that they look as good as they do. I'm not necessarily somebody who always wants quantity over quality though, but I feel like their quality is high enough that I like the quantity. But until we see them all, it's hard to know.
And
Jim?
like, especially since like most of these courses are from older Mario Kart games, like there wasn't like anti-gravity or underwater in those games. So it feels pretty natural. Like it doesn't, I don't think like, I don't know. I would just rather have more courses, I think.
Yeah. I'm on that camp too. Yeah. I'm happy with it. And if you are paying for it, you're not on an expansion pack, comes out to like 50 cents a course. Like it's a really good deal for these, I've already put so much time in. I've been playing all the time trials and I beat all the GPs and everything. And so it's like, I've been having a blast with them so far. Definitely got my money's worth.
I think the answer to this question is no, but do you think there's any chance they put out any other DLC related to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe now? Like they call this the Booster Course Pass. Could there be something else with
like a booster character pass?
Yeah, or something to, since we know that this game's now going to be around for another year and a half of at least, supported.
I could see them on like wave 3 and wave 6, like at the end of the year, throwing in a little something maybe, as they've had more time to like work with it. But I wouldn't count on it.
Yeah.
It's going to be something like a Rex costume in Breath of the Wild. The next Xenoblade 3 will have a costume represented in Mario Kart.
Yeah, or like Mii's, right? It's like they could even add on like bespoke Mii's or bespoke characters that you pay for, like you would with Mii Fighters in Smash, right?
Still want that battle course pass or something. It's really funny when we fired this up. We did one round of each race except for Toad Circuit, and then my son was like, and then my son goes, "Did they add any battle courses?" And I said no, and he's like, "Okay, well let's just play battle." So like he loves battle more than he likes racing. So
Yeah.
like, even with all this,
I am your son. I also love battle more than
Yeah,
racing.
Oh my God. That's a new
Well,
official Switch Headz canon here.
I grew up with preferring battle. Mario Kart 8 is the one where I've actually enjoyed racing as much as I have, and I still like battle a lot, but I race as equally or more now. But anyway, just
I've
wanted to
always
ask
been a
that
race
question.
guy. I could rephrase that. I've always liked races.
I loved battles when I was younger, like when I played Double Dash.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I loved battles. I think battles is like a good way for like kids to get
Mhm.
into the game too.
Yeah.
Because it's just really fun and there's just so much like competition and it's just like
Yeah.
chaos. I don't know. I love it. I
It
love the
sounds
chaos.
like all the things that I love.
Yeah.
But you know, then me and Jennifer, we grew up and we matured. And you guys
Put away
Not
childish
me.
things. I love the idea that like
bitches.
I love the idea that like somebody could be talking about that while talking about playing Mario Kart. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, but then I grew up and
Oh, we're not
played
like those
battle.
weird Disney adults. We're Nintendo adults.
Yeah.
Well, so Mario Kart 9 obviously not coming out for a while, right? Like at this point, there's no way they release Mario Kart 9 anytime at the very earliest 2024, but that doesn't even make sense, right? Like presumably some of this stuff will still be fresh.
Switch 2 launch game.
Yeah.
Holding to that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we kind of talked about this when you're talking about Odyssey, but it also makes you wonder like anything could get DLC
Mm-hmm.
now.
Yeah.
And probably, like you said, you look at that top sales list, which I was just looking at, and it's probably not going to be any Pokemon games.
No,
And then-
I don't think it'll be the Pokemon games.
So
we could see some Mario Party.
Party?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably the new one since they have
Yeah.
released a new game, but I bet we'll get Mario Party maps. I think
Seems
that's
possible.
a pretty good bet. I think Odyssey is also possible. You know?
Yeah, we were joking, and the more we talk about it, the more I'm into it. I don't know that's
Man,
possible.
That
but,
would be amazing.
That would be so cool. Yeah. I'd be all right with that.
Yeah.
Maybe we can quickly talk before we wrap up about just some data mining that's been happening in this. So if you don't want to hear anything about potential courses coming to this pass, maybe use the timestamp to skip to the games we've been playing section. That's why it's there. That's for Bozo and you who hates Mario Kart spoilers. But there's been some data mining in this, and one of the things that data miners have found is this banner image of the Booster Course Pass logo, which it's like kind of like the thumbnails of all the courses makes the track that they're driving on in that kind of key art. But in the data mine version, there are thumbnails from courses that they have not shown yet. Where in all the actual promotional stuff that they've released publicly, it's just been these 8 courses kind of repeated, right? And so from that, we've learned quite a bit of levels that are probably coming. Some of which include some of my favorites from the Wii era that we have seen in that promo art is Maple Treeway. Is one of my favorite Wii courses. Yeah, see, Jen already knows.
Mhm.
Let's see. Mushroom Gorge, Koopa Cape are all really great courses. DK Summit. These are all really great Wii courses. DK Summit's the one with kind of like the half pipe, like snowboarding trick section, Love that one. What else was in that? Sunset Wilds from Game Boy Advance was one of the ones we saw. Vanilla Lake, which is a Super Nintendo level. And then we've seen some tour tracks in there as well, including like LA Laps. I think Sydney Sprint was in there. But we can pretty safely assume that all of the original tour levels are going to be in this. So all of the kind of city levels that were in tour, you can imagine will be coming over. Because like we said, those are all like brand new courses for a lot of people, right? But yeah, there's a great list on Recetera. It's been a while since we said that one. That basically combines like a few different data mines, like one from this banner image, and then also like the prefixes for a lot of the courses is in the data. So like GBA, Wii, SNES, or whatever, like it says before the courses, will show up if you go into the code for each one that just doesn't have the titles. So with that, and what we know is probably coming from Tour, like Tour original levels and remakes that they've done in there, and the stuff in this banner image, we have a pretty good view of most of what the courses are going to be, with the exception of like 7 or so. We don't know what some of those are going to be like, and a lot of them are looking really good. And I'm really looking forward to them hopefully doing well at Ouija Pinball, because that is my favorite Mario Kart stage.
What is that one from? I can't remember. DS. Okay.
Yeah, but it
It's been a
has
while.
it's in Mario Kart Tour. Like there's already a Mario Kart Tour version made, so it's
Okay.
like kind of obvious that would be one that they would just move over, right? So yeah, really excited about that. Oh, also 3DS Rainbow Road is probably the best Rainbow Road ever, and I'd love to see that.
Yeah, and then we can have 4, like, you know, a cup that you make yourself with 4 Rainbow Roads.
Dude, they could release. There are enough Rainbow Roads that aren't in this game to where they could release a Rainbow Road cup of just Rainbow Roads, which I think would be awesome.
You know, personally, I just think it's totally reckless to have a racetrack for the rainbows.
So anyway, join our Discord. I'll probably post this list in our leaks channel in our Discord if you want to see kind of all of them that are coming or that are probably likely to come. But as a big Mario Kart fan, somebody who's played every game in the series, there are definitely some ones in here that I'm really excited for. And it just makes me really excited that we have all this to look forward to for the next couple of years.
All I want is a Rainbow Road Cup now.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
That's all I'm thinking about.
That's all I want.
I love redundancy for redundancy's sake. And that sounds like a lot of chaos and fun to me.
In theory, you can
Yeah.
now do it in like a custom thing. Well,
Yeah.
whenever this one comes, if it comes, yeah.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, I think the best thing about Mario Kart is the chaos. And I never really put my finger on it before, but
Yeah.
now I know. It's the
Yeah.
chaos that I crave every day.
I cuss when I play Mario Kart.
Yeah.
I think everybody does.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say the chaos is just evident by like the bullet bill power up more than anything, right? Like you
Yeah.
can be in 8th
Yeah.
place and then shoot up to 2nd and get lucky and win or whatever. Like, you know.
Yes.
All right, then we'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll talk about the games that we've been playing recently. So this week I've mostly been playing Mario Kart. So I don't have a whole lot to talk about. Let me see what I can talk about. I could talk about, I guess I've been playing a little bit of Animal Crossing. My son got back into that recently, so we've been playing some of that together. I've been playing some Smash. And we played some more Pikmin 3 Bingo Battle today, actually. And
It's been a while since that's been in the games.
Yeah, he just randomly brought it up today, and
Yeah.
so we played a few rounds, and he legit beat me. I mean, we put a handicap on me, but like, still, I used to be able to.
Doesn't
beat him
sound
even-
very legit to me.
Well, that's true, but we used to put like a severe handicap on me, and I would still just cream him. And now we put the handicap on, and he wins, and so it's
Baby
improvement.
steps.
Yeah,
Yeah,
baby
yeah.
steps.
Yeah.
That's it.
For me, just Mario Kart 2.
Yeah.
I was out of town this past weekend, so the only time I got to play video games was on the road playing a driving game. Not while I
Oh,
was
so
driving.
were you able to play it then? Not connected to the internet.
I booted up on the internet, so
Oh, okay.
again,
Yeah, like a
Tesla theory.
hotspot or something.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I was
cool.
before I started, I loaded up because I downloaded it first before I left.
Okay.
We'll do some research on that claim.
Yeah.
Patrick.
I am curious about that because I do think that's potentially a snag.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, but that's all you've been playing, Matt.
That's it for me.
Yeah, I've been playing a bit. I mean, definitely mostly Mario Kart. I did have a really great time this weekend playing. I went over to my buddy Christina and Joe's house. We were over there. We had a lot of fun. They were already playing Mario Kart. Joe and Christina just recently got a Switch, so they're like super fucking slap happy, Switch happy right now. You know, they're like playing all the games. Christina's playing a shit ton of Animal Crossing. Joe's playing a lot of Mario Kart and Mario Party and all this kind of stuff. And so, among them just having bought this game for the first time, they're also getting these new courses. And so I went over there with the idea that I would just hang out there for a couple hours and then walk back, because I knew people in Switch Headz were going to be playing Mario Kart Online. But they just were so hyped on Mario Kart that I was like, all right, let's just do it here. So like Joe and Christina played on their TV. I played in handheld. And then we had my phone on the voice chat in the middle of the table. And we had like, all these Switch Heads were like playing with us IRL. And it was just a blast. Had a really great time doing that, playing with like people in a room and with people online. That was super fun. So I really enjoyed that. And then I did beat Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty, on stream. Finished that up last Wednesday. Loved the game. Absolute blast. Brilliant. 10 out of 10. Like every Metal Gear Solid game I've played so far. Very much enjoyed it. The whole last stream that I did of that, it was like 2.5 hours long, and I think it had about 12 minutes of gameplay. It was like mostly cutscenes and just my little baby mind getting blown by all these like reveals at the end of that game. Great stuff. Check out the VOD if you haven't yet.
Wait until you get to Metal Gear Solid 4 on PS4. It's even more cutscenes.
Yeah, I'll have to whip out my old fat PS3 out of the closet or whatever.
Oh yeah, PS3.
Yeah. But other than that, the only new game I've been playing this week is Tunic. I started that up. Tunic is a great game developed all by one guy and published by Finji. And it's finally come out. This game's been in development for like 7 years or something like that. I played it a long time ago, and I think 2015 at Fantastic Arcade. I played a demo of this game, and it's just been in development ever since. And it's great. I streamed some of this on Sunday and have been really enjoying it so far. It's Zelda-like that very much wears that on its sleeve. It's definitely got kind of top-down Legend of Zelda vibes. But it's also, you don't always want to compare every game to Dark Souls, but it's definitely got some Soulsy vibes, right? Where it's like in the battles, you're doing a lot of dodge rolling and the difficulty is very, very high. But I think the thing that I like most about this game, other than its beautiful art style and music, is how kind of obtuse it is. The game is purposefully withholding of a lot of information. There's a in-game language that is just never translated and you just kind of have to, it's basically like you're playing a Japanese ROM of a Legend of Zelda game and you've never played it before and you're just kind of like winging it, right? And like using context clues to
when the menus come up, you're like, okay. yeah
you'll read a sign and it's just in another language and you're like, thanks. I guess but there's but even past that, there's a really cool mechanic on like how they tutorialize this game, because like throughout the world, there are little pieces of paper you can find that create the instruction manual of this game. And it's like an NES or Super Nintendo style instruction manual. And you'll get these pages out of order kind of, and a lot of it's in this other language, right? But it's like already you've done some things that is in this instruction manual. And then there's other stuff you're like, oh, if I'd been holding this button, it would have done this. You know what I mean? And so it's like a really cool way to like really like slowly feed you information on like how to play the game over time. It's a game that definitely assumes you've played other games like this before, right? And so if you're like a newcomer to this kind of game, it's maybe going to be a little bit too hard for you to pick up right off the bat. You're good, Matt. And then bless you. But yeah, I think it's great stuff. It's already getting lots of Game of the Year talk, and I definitely see why. I think it's a fantastic game. I can't wait to play more. Jen, what about you? What have you been playing recently?
I have been playing a lot of Mario Kart and a lot of Witcher 3.
Oh yeah.
And I have been streaming it too, which is kind of nice. David watches it sometimes. Sometimes random people pop in, It's kind of fun. I'll have like at tops 2 followers. Or not followers, viewers.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be fun. But
you gotta start somewhere.
It's my favorite game, so I can't stop playing it. It's like my 3.5 playthrough. So
Yeah.
They just announced a new Witcher game. We didn't talk about that, but
Yeah. Did you see that announcement, Jen?
no.
Are we
Jen
breaking
doesn't use
this
Twitter.
now?
Jen doesn't
like-
use Twitter, so
it's like just a
yeah.
tease. So there's no like information about it, right?
yeah,
It's
they
kind
just
of like a
they showed a Witcher logo and people thought they were talking about the show, and then they were like, "No, the game will be out on like a couple platforms," and they were like, "Oh, it's a game." Yeah, so they're working on it. Yeah.
I love everything. I love the show, the game, and the books. I'm on the 5th book right now, so I'm also having fun reading that as well.
Hell yeah.
I highly
yeah.
recommend Witcher 3 to anybody, and you can get it on the Switch, and you can play it on your plane. It's amazing.
nice.
No internet connection required.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Thanks, Jen, so much for coming in and
Yeah.
joining us and talking to us. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
And thanks to MilkyWay.co, does our website. Thanks to Corduroy, does our music. If you're looking for me, Patrick, online, you can find me most places as PDYX.
Hey, I'm Matthew on Twitter, MATHYOU.
I'm pretty much everywhere on the internet at Monolith Fiji. And what about you, Jen? Where can people find you online?
You can follow me on Twitch if you want. Add, one more viewer to that 2 viewers. My gamer tag, I don't know what it's called on Twitch, username is
Yeah.
Dracaris.
Yeah, can you spell that
And-
for us?
Yeah, it's DRACARY and then 3 Z's.
Very good.
Yeah.
Like a sleepy dragon.
Sleepy dragon.
Sleepy dragon.
Very
Sleepy,
good.
burn it down.
Yeah, very
That's what
good.
it means.
Yeah, give Jen a follow. It's actually been really fun watching you play The Witcher,
Aw,
especially because you know the game so well. And so it's definitely a good follow. So shoot Jen a follow over there on Twitch. And then if you'd like to find our show on social media, we are at Super Switch Headz on Instagram and Facebook. We are at Switch Headz on Twitter. We got a website, which is switchheads.com. And then you can always join our Discord and our Facebook group. 2 great communities. We'd love to have you in there. I feel like the Discord's just getting better and better every day, man. What a great community. Saved me a lot of mental distress in my life, and I'm very thankful for the Discord. So join us if you want me to finally be happy. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this episode on the Mario Kart DLC. We're probably not going to do an episode every single time one of these waves drop, but we wanted to get one out at the beginning, just thinking about what we think about this whole thing. So we hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'm sure we'll give our thoughts on future waves as they come as well. And again, Jen, what a delight. So great to have you on. I've been trying to get you on the show forever. We'll surely have you on again. Maybe to talk about Western RPGs or Witcher games, or maybe when Starfield comes out, we'll have you on because I know you love those Bethesda games as well. But other than that, folks, that's gonna do it. We got a great week coming up next week. I feel like the games just won't stop coming out. We got Kirby coming out next week.
Oh my God, are you
surely,
serious?
yeah. So
Friday.
yeah, we got lots to talk about on the show recently. Maybe one day we'll do an evergreen topic again, but for now we're hitting all these releases. So I'm sure we're going to be talking about Kirby next week. So make sure you tune in for that. Very excited to play that game as well. Guys, we love you very much. Stay safe out there. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to one another. Get that booster shot if you haven't gotten it yet. Other than that, though, we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.